Starting off tonight for the scare, that's going to be Frowntown, and looks like who is that out there for the Canabay? That's Canabay out there for the Foxes. And event number 3 is underway. Canabay gets around the outside, is going to be your lead jammer to start things off here for the Foxes. Frowntown also clear of the pack on the initial pass. So Canabay going to grab a quick point or two. Let's see how many. 2 points there for the Foxes, so they strike first. Bricktator now out there for the scare. Foxy Skatey out there for the Foxes.
Ooh, and Foxy Skatey pushing up the middle to grab lead jammer. Bricktator now working the front of the pack, out on her lead initial pass.
So Foxy Skatey gets through, picks up 4 points, and then quickly calls that jam off. That extends the lead to 6-0 here early in this game. Hammer on the line now for the scare, going up against Canabay for the Foxes. Hammer, not to be confused with myself, also Hammer.
Very cool to see Hammer starting with the star on. I've often see them donning the stripe.
Oh. Canabay out first, your lead jammer, Foxes. Hey, oh, and we got our first power jam of the night as Hammer heads to the penalty box.
Canabay making good use of that chaos in the pack. 4 points for the fabulous Foxes.
Yeah, big opportunity here early for the Foxes to really stretch out that lead a little bit. Canabay with some nice moves around that inside line, picks up 4 more, and then calls the jam off, freezing Hammer in the penalty box. So a power start here for Foxy Skatey. Both teams at full pack, at full strength in the pack. Oh, nope. And just as I say that, the scare sent another blocker to the box. That's Wildside sitting in the penalty box. So a 4-on-3 pack advantage, as well as the power start here for the Foxes.
Oh, some very nice offense by the Foxes there. So that's going to be lead jammer going to Foxy Skatey. Hammer now out of the box, forced to reset by Evie. And that'll be 4 points for the Foxes.
Evie at the back of the pack now for the Foxes right now doing nice work, but Hammer finds a seam and gets out. So the pack jam comes to an end, but I see a track cut being called at the end there. Let's see who's going to take a seat. I believe it's one of the Foxes. Oh, and in fact, it is Foxy Skatey. So now we're going to have a power jam for Frowntown and the scare. The scare looking to put their first points on the board here. Frowntown with a wide open inside line, quickly picks up lead jammer.
Looks like Scare opting to grab a goat in the back. Letting Frowntown work the front of that pack. She does and grabs 4 points for the Scare.
Yep, Frowntown taking full advantage of the fact that you can have one hand out of bounds and still technically be in bounds. Oh my, another penalty on Foxy Skady, so this power jam is going to go another 30 seconds.
Scare doing a very good job with their strategy here, holding a Fox's blocker in the back. So with a little bit of penalty trouble, it gives Frowntown a lot of opportunity to just grab as many points as possible.
So the power jam comes to an end. Foxy Skady back on the track. And now 24 points so far this jam for Frowntown, and we have ourselves a lead change. One jam was all it took. So one jam was all it took for the Scare to completely wipe off the lead of the Foxes. And now it's going to be Bricktator out there for the Scare going up against Canabe for the Foxes.
Some nice line work there by Canabe, but it looks like it was just out of bounds. So, oh, I'm sorry. That was actually a high block.
A forearm call, looked like.
One of those penalties.
Yeah. So, Bricktator, your lead jammer on the power jam. So, 4 points on that pass by Bricktator.
Canabe now out of the box and out on her initial pass.
Bewitch You Soon dragging Canabe all the way back to turn 2. Meanwhile, Bricktator putting more points on the board.
Canabe is out of the pack, so 4 points to the Foxes. But Bricktator is going to call off that jam. Looks like that's going to be 22 points scored by the Scare. Oh, I'm sorry, 23 scored by the Scare. 4 points to the Foxes. It's going to put our score at 47-25. Lafayette Scare. About 21 and a half minutes left in the first half.
Back in action now. Frowntown out there for the Scare.
Quick initial pass there by Frowntown. Already coming in now on her first scoring pass. Punches up the front of the wall, and she is through for 4 points.
So star pass to Skulky.
And we've got Skulky through on her initial pass. 2 Foxes blockers in the box at the moment.
So that jam comes to an end. Another looks like 16 points on the board for the Scare. Momentum definitely shifted in the Scare's favor, as it is now 63-33 with 19:54 to go here in the first half.
On the jammer line now, we've got the Moss King for the Scare, Foxy Skatey jamming for the Foxes. And looks like we are starting 4-3 pack advantage to the Scare.
Penalties being assessed. We'll see who gets sent off.
Lead jammer goes to the Moss King.
Yep. Foxy Skatey also free of the pack.
All right, that's going to be 2 points scored by the Moss King, who calls off the jam.
Lisa Shank headed to the penalty box for the Scare, so it'll be a 3-on-3 pack as Bricktator takes the line for the Scare against Canabe for the Foxes.
Bricktator grabbing lead jammer, but Canabe also out of the pack. Let's see if Bricktator can grab any points. She does, and it looks like we are opting to run this jam.
Yeah, one of the things you're going to see the Scare do a lot is they like to run these jams long. The Saint likes to run long jams.
Good way to clear the box, and if you've got the endurance for it,
Yeah.
good way to just wear people down.
Yeah, when you've got the advantage, you just want to take full advantage of it. You just want to grind these jams out and grind the other team down physically and mentally.
So as that jam comes to an end, current score 75 Scare, 41 Foxes. A little over 17 minutes left in the half.
So it's Foxy Skatey on the line now for the Foxes against Hammer for the Scare. Foxy Skatey with a couple of jammer penalties early that really kind of changed the momentum of this game and let the Scare get right in it. She does have a lead at the moment, however. First scoring pass in the books for Foxy Skatey, 4 points.
Looks like Hammer is out on her initial. Foxy grabbing 4 more points, calls off the jam. So that is going to be 8 more points to the Foxes.
Skulky starting out there for the Foxes for the first time. Got a star pass earlier, but this will be the first time they've started with the star. Going up against Frown Town for the Scare. So Frown Town's going to be your lead jammer for the Scare.
And that is going to be a blocker penalty to the Foxes, with both jammers out of the pack. Skulky on their initial, Frown Town on a scoring pass. That is going to be 4 points to the Foxes. So with one blocker for the scare in the box, we'll see if Frowntown runs this jam a little long, tries to get everyone cleared out of there.
So a 12-12 jam there makes it 87-61 with 14-17 to go here in the first half. Scare on top, and it's going to be Bricktator out there now for the scare. Canabay out there for the Foxes.
4-3 pack advantage now in favor of the scare. And that is a quick escape by Bricktator out on her initial pass. Canabay forced to reset, but punching up that outside line out on her initial. That's 4 points for Bricktator in the scare, and Bricktator calls that jam, bringing our score to 91 scare, 61 Foxes.
And we have our first, looks like our first timeout. It's an official timeout. Look like some moisture on the floor maybe. Moisture and skate wheels do not mix.
Really don't. It's a bad time.
Well, the way they're acting is making me thinking it's not just liquid, it's blood, maybe.
Looking for custom jerseys for your team? Jersey Beast can help. We offer free customized design in sports like soccer, hockey, baseball, and one of our favorites, roller derby. Jersey Beast can also create your team a store with options for fundraising. Check us out at jerseybeast.net and tell us about your team.
Looking for skates or new protective gear to keep you on the track? Then look no further than Turn Left Skate Pro Hustle City. They have the expertise to keep you in the best gear and at the highest level of performance. That's Turn Left Skate Pro Hustle City.
Ruckzilla is a family-run business dedicated to crafting high-quality rugby bags with a focus on durability and style. Born from the passion of a father and son, they spent over a year perfecting their final product. Ruckzilla bags for rugby and roller derby.
Yeah. That's certainly one way to take care of moisture on the track. So the Moss King now out there for the scare, going up against Foxy Skatey for the Foxes. And Foxy Skatey gets out first. It's going to be your lead jammer.
Moss King forced to reset, looking for some daylight in that Fox's wall. They find it. Some nice recycling there by the Foxes, forcing Moss King to push for their life. And Moss King is out of the pack on their initial.
Foxy Skatey calls the jam off, picks up 3 more points. So Canabay on the line now for the Foxes. Brick Tater out there for the scare.
Oh, that's going to be a forearm assessed to Canabay, so that's going to be a power jam to the scare as Brick Tater comes around the outside for lead jammer. It's going to be some nice oath from the scare. Grabbing 4 points for Brick Tater. Star in hand, Canabay out on their initial. Brick Tater calls the jam. It's going to be 8 more points for the scare, putting our score at 100 scare, 67 Foxes. Just over 11 minutes left in the first half. Starting now with a full contingent of blockers, we've got Frown Town jamming for the scare. Looks like Foxy Skatey donning the star for the Foxes. And quick lead grabbed by Frown Town.
Ooh.
Both jammers now on scoring passes. Looks like Frown Town is going to opt to keep running this jam.
So Frowntown going to call that jam off. Let's see what our final tally is. Looks like 16-13 in favor of the scare on that jam. Brings the total to 116-80 with 9:05 to go here in the first half.
Some really nice work by Foxy Skatey, holding Frowntown to 3 points. On the line now, we've got Hammer jamming against is.
I believe that's Hitsuni. Yeah, that's Hitsuni out there.
All right.
Hammer is going to be your lead jammer here for the scare. Star pass.
Star pass to carry the hatchet.
Yeah.
Hammer opts to call off the jam.
We're sharing a brain here at the announcer's table, obviously, as we both started to say the star pass at the same time. Now we have some track maintenance that needs to be done over here in turns 1 and 2. Who's got the tape? Who's got the tape? That's not the tape. That's electrical tape. That's not going to help. Who's got the tape?
A little tape.
It's the little things. Look, it's hard enough roller skating. We don't need trip hazards out there, too. Yeah.
Big thank you to Yoshi helping out with track maintenance tonight.
That's kind of his thing.
It's kind of his thing. And of course, a big thank you to all of our refs and NSOs.
Except Spin Diesel. Don't thank that guy.
Oh, that guy.
Glad to have him back. All right, back in action, and it's Brick Tater out there for the Scare, Canabay out there for the Foxes. Brick Tater, your lead jammer. Canabay still trying to complete the initial pass.
That's going to be 4 points to Brick Tater, and she calls the jam.
So it's going to be Frowntown out there next for the Scare, Skulky for the Foxes.
Strong push at the front of the pack there by Frowntown. She grabs the lead jammer. Meanwhile, Skulky dragged back, still fighting for that initial pass. Solid blocking by the Scare defense. Meanwhile, Frowntown grabs 4 more points.
So 4 more points there for Frowntown before calling the jam off. A 12-point jam extends the Scare lead to 134-80 with 6:15 to go here in the first half. The S1 Lifer helmet, best fit plus best protection equals made for roller derby. Get a Lifer, be a Lifer.
On the jammer line now, we've got Foxy Skatey jamming against Hammer. And Foxy Skatey grabs the lead jammer. Hammer finding some daylight on the outside, also out of the pack. And that's going to be 3 more points to the Foxes.
So Brick Tater on the line now for the Scare. Canabay out there for the Foxes.
And with the Foxes pivot in the box, that is going to be 4-3 pack advantage to the Scare. It doesn't matter. Canabay grabbing a quick lead jammer.
Canabay says, I need no blockers. I will just get lead jammer.
Meanwhile, Brick trips up the inside line. Out on their initial, so Canabay is going to grab their points and call the jam.
Fox is looking to chip away at that lead. 4:30 to go here in the first half. The Moss King now out there for the Scare, going up against Hitsune for the Fabulous Foxes. And the Moss King's going to be your lead. Oh, no. A track cut call. on the Moss King means a power jam now here for Hitsuni and the Foxes.
Big push by Hitsuni, meanwhile, does get managed. Let's get pushed out by Deadbolt on the inside. Meanwhile, that's a blocker penalty going to Skulky.
Hitsuni thought they were being called off for the penalty, but it was actually Skulky. So they'll reset. Power jam comes to an end. So Hitsuni is the lead jammer.
And looks like Kitsune did manage to grab lead jammer there, so she opts to call off that jam. It's going to be 4 more points going to the scare.
So Frowntown now out there for the scare, going up against Foxy Skady for the Foxes. And Frowntown, your lead jammer. So 4 points for Frowntown, 4 points for Foxy Skady. This is one of the things you're going to see the scare do quite a bit, is as long as they've got a lead, even if they're giving up points, as long as they're matching, they'll go ahead and run these jams long. Saint does love to run jams long.
Especially with a pivot in the box, for sure.
So a 7-4 jam there in favor of the scare. Bricktator now out there for the scare. Canabay for the Foxes. An empty penalty box, so both teams at full strength. And now we're going to have an official timeout.
Durable, functional, stable. The S1 Pro knee pads are built for roller derby.
The official chiropractor of arch rival Triad Sports and Family Chiropractic is a proud sponsor of tonight's game. Dr. Jennifer McCleary provides top-notch sports chiropractic care, injury rehabilitation, acupuncture, nutrition consultation, and cutting-edge recovery modalities. Whether you're looking to recover from an injury, prevent one from happening, or simply optimize your performance, she has the expertise and experience you need. That is Triad Sports and Family Chiropractic.
Looks like this is gonna be a power start for the scare. Penalty assessed to Foxy Skady, and lead jammer now going to Bricktator and the scare.
Yeah, it looks like the ref crew got together at the end of that jam and realized that a penalty should have been called on Foxy Skady, so they rectified the situation. So power jam to start here for Bricktator. Already 4 points. Bricktator wasting no time. Four more points there for Bricktator.
Foxy Skady out of the box and out on her initial pass now. We do have one scare blocker in the box. Let's see if Bricktator runs this jam.
I think Saint's going to go ahead and run this jam out and finish the half on this one. Only 9 seconds left on the time on the game clock. 37 seconds left on the jam clock. So we might get some bonus derby here in the first half.
Foxy Skatey doing a great job hanging in there, matching Brick pass for pass.
So 4 points on that last pass for Bricktator. That's going to take us to the intermission. A 24-12 jam in favor of the Scare, and that brings our score at the half, 169 Scare, 104 Foxes. We're going to have a 15-minute intermission, and then we will be right back in action. So second half about to get underway. Current score, Lafayette Scare, 169, Fabulous Foxes, 104. Want to give a big shout-out to the official chiropractor of arch rival, Triad Sports and Family Chiropractic. They're a proud sponsor of tonight's game. Dr. Jennifer McCleary provides top-notch sports chiropractic care, injury rehabilitation, acupuncture, nutrition consultation, and cutting-edge recovery modalities. You can find them online at triadchiropractic.net. And Frowntown is going to start things off for the Scare. Lead jammer, Canabay out there for the Foxes.
All right, and that is going to be a power jam now for the Scare. And 4 points now, scored by Frowntown. Some big shoulder punches there by Frowntown, getting through on her second scoring pass. Doing a very nice job not letting off the gas. And Canabay now out on her initial pass as well. It's 4 more points now to the Foxes and to the Scare. Looks like Frowntown's going to try to grab a few more and calls off the jam. And that's going to be 3 more points to the Foxes. I'm sorry, to the Scare. Bringing our score now, 188 Scare, 112 Foxes. Got Foxy Skatey on the line now, jamming against Bricktator. And lead jammer goes to Foxy Skatey. Evie really doing a nice job of making the jammers' lives a little harder up at the top of the pack. So Foxy Skatey is going to grab 4 more points and call off that jam.
Next up on the jammer line for the Scare, that's the Moss King going up against Canabay for the Foxes. Ooh, tiptoeing on that outside line is Canabay, and they're your lead jammer.
Nice work there by Canabay on the outside line. 4 points to the Foxes. Meanwhile, Deadbolt fighting at the top of the pack, star in hand. Peeling off that last Fox's blocker. Out on her initial pass. And looks like that is going to be a back block assessed to Deadbolt. Now we've got a power jam, Foxes.
Foxes with a big opportunity here to chip away at that sizable lead. 60 points, the difference between these two squads at the moment.
Four more points to Canabay and the Foxes. She calls off the jam.
So a well-timed call off as the Foxes will start with Deadbolt standing in the penalty box. So the power jam still with a few seconds left. That's going to give Foxy Skady a few precious seconds to try to secure a lead before Deadbolt returns to play. Bricktator with the pivot on, just in case they need to do a star pass. Foxy Skady, your lead. Jammer. Oh. Deadbolt catches the Foxes unaware, quickly comes out of the pack and completes the initial pass. And that's going to force Foxy Skady to call that jam off after only 4 points.
Some really nice depth on that scare bench, I think, being able to put Brick in that pivot position. With Bolt's kind of low-key a really good jammer in her own right.
Yes,
really nice resource to have.
So Frowntown now out there for the scare, going up against Canabay for the Foxes.
Some nice recycling by the Foxy blockers. We've got both jammers out of the pack, but lead is going to go to scare.
Frowntown looking to put some points on the board. Gets past Go-Go and puts 4 on the board. Canabay with 4 as well. Again, we see the scare running these jams long.
Frowntown throwing her second scoring pass. It's going to be 4 more points to the scare. Meanwhile, Fox's pivot Skulky heading to the box. And another 4 points to the Foxes as well.
$16 points so far for Frowntown, 8 for Canabay. Moss King takes a seat in the penalty box for the scare. 20 now for Frowntown. And that's going to lead to the end of the jam. 24 points there for Frowntown, 12 for the Foxes and Canabay. Looking for custom jerseys for your team? Jersey Beast can help. They offer free customized design in sports like soccer, hockey, baseball, and one of our favorites, roller derby. You can find them online, jerseybeast.net.
On the line now, we've got Bricktator jamming against Foxy Skady. And with Moss King out of the box, it's going to be all 8 blockers. Foxy Skady out on lead. Bricktator out on her initial as well. Nice work on the outside there by Foxy Skatey. Grabs 3 points, calls the jam.
So it'll be Frowntown out there again for the scare. Tails out there for the first time for the Foxes.
Frowntown peeling off blockers at the front of the pack, grabs lead jammer.
Skulky headed to the penalty box. Meanwhile, Tails has completed the initial pass. Frowntown looking to put more points on the board. That's 4 more points for the scare. Meanwhile, Tails weaving their way through the pack.
Scare really taking advantage of the depth of their bench, able to run these long jams.
Well, whether they want to or not, Saint's going to run jams long.
Yeah. And a star pass now to Skulky. It's like Skulky having some trouble with the star. Got to make sure that is on your helmet in order to be able to score points. And she does. So that is going to be a 24 jam for the scare. 8 points scored by the Foxes now, bringing us to 240 to 163. 18 and a half minutes left in the second half.
Hitsuni now out there for the Foxes, going up against, that's Hammer for the scare. So Hammer is your lead jammer for the scare.
I believe that is a high block assess to Hitsune, so that's going to be a power jam scare. Some nice work by Hammer there. Tiptoeing up the outside line, 4 more points to the scare. And Hammer calls off the jam, freezing Hitsune in the box. That is going to be a 8-point jam, 10-point jam to the scare. Actually, an 11-point jam to the scare. Quick lead now grabbed by Bricktator on this power start. Fox's jammer Hitsune is out of the box. Well,
And once again, Brick Tater's figure skating background comes into play.
Hitsune recycled back, star in hand. And Brick Tater grabs 4 more points for the scare, calls off the jam. So that is going to be 16 scored by the scare in that jam. And we've got Canabe now on the line against Frowntown. Nice little fake out there by Canabe, grabbing lead jammer. Frowntown also out on her initial. Foxes holding that scare blocker in the back of the pack, helping Canabe score 1 point, and they call the jam.
I have a feeling we're going to see a official review or a timeout here. Yep, there it is, the timeout.
Located in Maplewood, 26 Fitness helps people fall in love with fitness by creating an inclusive, body-positive CrossFit and weightlifting gym where strength builds confidence and community builds resilience. We work out because we love our bodies, not because we hate them. We pride ourselves on being welcoming, accessible, and completely non-intimidating. No egos, no judgment, just a supportive community that meets you where you are. Visit CrossFit26.com for more info.
Once again, we'd like to give a big shout out to the official chiropractor of arch rival Triad Sports and Family Chiropractic. They're a proud sponsor of tonight's game. Dr. Jennifer McCleary provides top-notch sports chiropractic care, injury rehabilitation, acupuncture, nutrition consultation, and cutting-edge recovery modalities. Whether you're looking to recover from an injury, prevent one from happening, or simply optimize your performance, she has the expertise and experience you need. You can find them online at triadchiropractic.net.
Moss King now donning the star for the scare. Foxy Skatey jamming for the Foxes. And lead jammer goes to Foxy Skatey. Both our teams sending blockers to the box. Foxy Skatey out on a scoring pass. Meanwhile, star pass to Bolt.
So Foxy Skating going to call that jam off. 2 points. 2 more points. So that's going to take us to 271 to 170 with 13:31 to go here in the second half. Scare on top. Next up on the jammer line is going to be Brick Tater for the scare, Canabe for the Foxes. Both teams down 1 blocker, so a 3-on-3 pack. A little more room for these jammers to work with. And Canabe is going to be your lead jammer, Foxes. So Canabe going to call that jam off. 4 points there for the Foxes. So Frowntown now on the line for the scare. That is Evie out there jamming for the Foxes for the first time this evening.
Ooh.
Oh, forearm call on Evie, so a power jam here for the scare.
Well, that's some pretty toe stop work, though. Some nice offense there by Bolt. And that's going to be Frowntown out of the pack.
So Frowntown now your lead jammer. Power jam comes to an end.
Smart re-entry there by Evie.
Mm-hmm.
And Evie swings around the outside. 4 points to the Foxes. And another 4 points to the scare.
Four points for each squad on that pass. Right now, 16-8 advantage in favor of Frowntown and the scare. 4 more points there. And another penalty on Evie there at the end of that jam. Frowntown calls it off. A 20-point jam for Frowntown and the scare take us to 295. Sorry, 24-point jam to 295 to 183 with 10 minutes to go here in the second half. But don't forget, don't go anywhere because we got a second game tonight as the Botanical Guardians take on the Jewel Boxers. That will be shortly after this game comes to its conclusion. Doubleheader here for you tonight. Hammer on the line now for the scare on the power jam. Hammer fighting their way through the pack. A strong four-wall up front by the Foxes.
Hammer finds a little daylight on the inside apex and gets out on her initial. Evie, meanwhile, out of the box, jamming for the Foxes.
R2 Boo Boo and Bewitch Assume both headed to the penalty box along with Go-Go for the Foxes. So a 3-on-2 pack advantage for the Foxes. I think Evie's going to get a back block call there. Looks like Hammer's okay. Just skating off under their own power. A little bit of, maybe got the wind knocked out of them a little bit there.
I'll say props to Evie coming out of the penalty box strong, holding the scare pass for pass.
A little too strong there at the end, though.
It was a smidge.
So the Scare still have 2 blockers in the box. The Foxes have one blocker and, of course, the jammer. So it will be a power jam to start this next jam for the Scare. They will be down 2 blockers. They currently enjoy a 109-point lead. 7:58 to go here in the first half. Sorry, second half.
And Bricktator makes quick work of the wall, out on her initial pass. And the Scare, once again, have a full contingent of blockers.
Both teams back to full strength defensively. Eight points so far this jam for Bricktator.
And some patience there by Evie. Finds their hole out on their initial pass. Bricktator, however, on their 4th scoring pass, opts to call the jam. That's going to put our score 311 Lafayette Scare to 190. Fabulous Foxes. Just under 7 minutes left in the second half.
The Moss King now out there for the Scare. Canabe out there for the Foxes. And Canabe is going to be your lead jammer.
Canabe with some nice lines through the pack tonight. Oh, and that is going to be a penalty assessed to Moss King. Power jam Foxes. And 4 more points there scored by Canabe.
Deadbolt also in the box for the Scare. Canabe calls the jam off. 11 points. That jam takes them to 201. Skulky on the jam line for the Foxes. The power jam still in effect as Moss King and Deadbolt sit in the penalty box. Moss King the jammer, Deadbolt the pivot. Skulky weaves their way through the pack and picks up lead jammer.
And that is going to be a star pass to Deadbolt. So Skulky is going to call this jam.
Best fit plus best protection equals the S1 Lifer helmet. Get a lifer, be a lifer. Next up on the jammer line for the Foxes, it's Foxy Skatey. For the Scare, it's Frowntown. Foxy Skatey is going to be your lead jammer for the Foxes. Evie up front working on Frowntown. Foxy Skatey picks up 4 points and calls that jam off.
Bricktator now donning the star for the scare. Canabe jamming for the Foxes. Looks like we've got a 4-3 pack advantage going to the Foxes now with one scare blocker standing in the box. And that's a quick escape for lead jammer going to Bricktator. Canabe also out on her initial. It's 4 points now going to Bricktator. With both our jammers going pass for pass, Bricktator opts to shave a little bit more time off the clock than calls the jam.
Two minutes left in the second half. The score, Scare 320, Foxes 218. And it's going to be Foxy Skady on the line now for the Foxes, going up against Frowntown for the Scare.
Both our jammers out on their initial pass, but lead is going to go to Foxy Skady. And that is 4 points going to Frowntown. Got our jammers playing a little pushy-shovey. Looks like Foxy is going to run this jam.
And Foxy Skady calls that jam off after taking a spill coming out of turn 4. So it looks like we're going to get one more jam in. It's going to be the Moss King out there for the Scare. Skulky out there for the Foxes. And Skulky's going to be your lead jammer for the Foxes.
Moss King fighting that recycle at the top of the pack, out on their initial as well. But that's going to be 4 points going to Skulky.
Game clock has hit 0, but this jam will continue until its conclusion.
Skulky getting a little tripped up in our Refspin Diesel there. Both of them recover, thankfully.
Oh.
Moss King taking a big hit there on turn 1.
Oh. So now this jam is going to go the full 2 minutes as Skulky heads to the penalty box.
And that is going to be a star pass to Hammer to finish out this game. Probably. It'll be 4 more points now, scored by Hammer and the Scare.
So that's going to do it, our unofficial final. 348 to 238. Waiting for that final whistle. Going to do some MVPs here for this game as well.